Good morning, Cryptos in 10. We're looking more at the market here today. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. Here we got Bitcoin pulled up. We see a lot of downward pressures we talked about last night in last night's video. It is 10 o'clock, so we got the Dow currently up 132. We're just going to look at Bitcoin real quick here, and we can flash over to the Dow here in a minute. Here you see on my Bitcoin chart, I have all the FOMC decisions, and pretty much it's been downward ever since. They've, of course, 0.75 basis points on each time that they've raised the Fed interest rate. So, and we see where we're at. I don't think anytime soon they're going to stop. I think in November they're probably going to do it again. I did put a little video in on this date right here, 29th, around the 29th, is the bottom end. We've still been holding this low right here. We haven't broke that low yet. However, I just want to look at something real quick. So if we look at where we're at now, 19,130, we see the downward pressure, the RSI, the 4 hours below the 30. We broke this trend line right here. We closed below that trend line on the RSI down here. So we closed that down. That broke that trend line on 10th of October. So we are seeing a downward pressure. Now I just want to scroll over here real quick back to November 26th. Now you see the little dotted line, that's the current price, okay? And if we scroll over here, we got a little highlighted square. And we want to just kind of make this zoom in. Alright, so if you look here, on 11/26, over here, 11/26, right there, 2020, okay? 11. Not 10. Alright, 11/26 right here. We see the low right there. That low, if you look at that candle and then you look in my numbers up here, these are the candle prices for those that don't know. Alright, we have 16,213. Okay. We're sitting at 19,009. Okay. 19,091. We got down to 16. Now, there's one point. Now, support becomes resistance, and resistance becomes support, depending on which direction you're going. But in an uptrend, all of your resistance from your last downtrend are going to become support. Okay. Once you break that support or that resistance, it changes. Okay. So here we have right here 16,213 on that low. 16,213 low right there. Alright, then we come over here, we see a high right here of 12,475. Now why I say that is because if you take that line right there and take my cross line on that cross and take it all the way over, that's a next big support level, I believe. Okay? So after that 16, if we break that 16 and close below it, and then we have the next one, which is 12,475, which is right here on August 17th of 2020. Okay, so if we hit that, then we'll see if we need to do another video. I think we could come down to 12. I think that would be where we would bounce. That would be my thought, because that was after the big climb. After it broke this support level right here, it climbed up to 60,000. So, all right, so we'll watch that. Okay, now let's go to some news. Let's hit the stock market real quick. So we got the stock market opened up over here. It's 10:11. My computer's a little slow. Out here in the northeast Georgia. All right, so we see CNBC finally pulled up here. We had up 100 points right now. S&P's up 4. Nasdaq's down, so we've got a mixed market right now, and the VIX is just sitting really at not even a point up. So that's another thing to watch. But anyways, so let's look at some news. So we got stock market, we got the market open. Here we have some very interesting news. U.S. Congressman has introduced the gold standard bill for the U.S. to possibly repeg the dollar at with gold, and use gold. So it's referred to as the Gold Standard Restoration Act by Sound Money activists. Might be one to bookmark right there, HR 9157. All right, upon the passage, and now the other thing is the details are not out yet. So, as the old saying goes, people say the devil's in the details. So, what else could be in here? I think crypto regulation could also be stuck in here. It's my thought. They could actually back this stuff by gold. Gold holdings, gold transactions, after which reserve note dollar would be pegged to a fixed weight of gold as its then market price. All right, the gold standard would protect against Washington's irresponsible spending habits and the creation of money out of thin air. All right, so that's HR 9157, and I'll put the link in here so you can go back and read most of that stuff. All right, let's Google and Coinbase. So Google, the largest probably internet search engine. And then we have Coinbase, which is a very large crypto exchange. Here it says here, Google said Tuesday it will rely on Coinbase to start letting some customers pay for cloud services, cryptocurrencies in early 2023. Remember, our Fed Reserve over in the U.S. here is going to be looking at doing a CBDC. I think that's kind of interesting. Google and Coinbase would be having this start in early of 2023. We're supposed to have the CBDC done in, I think, the second quarter, April or something like that, of 2023. All right, Coinbase shares rose on this news, of course, as they always talk about. The deal announced Google's Cloud Next conference might succeed in luring cutting-edge companies to Google in a fierce, fast-growing market where Google's top competitors do not currently permit clients to pay with digital currencies. So it's all about digital currencies. People thought these things were going to go away, majority, but they're not. They're here to stay. This is the new banking system. This is the new way you're going to pay with stuff, pay for items and pay for services and such like that. Over time, Google will allow many more customers to pay. So it's not just going to be one currency or something. This is going to be different. This is going to be cryptos. Coinbase supports 10 currencies, including Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Doge, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Doge, and Ethereum prices have all declined over 60%. Yeah, we're down about 80% on some of those. So, all right, so I'll leave that in there too. So, all right, I'll leave that link. All right, here we have a Ripple partnership, Ripple's XRP, which most people call the Fed coin. It's kind of interesting, though, that in this article, that the partnership will expand the use of the XRP Treasury payments. Right now our 10 years at about 4%, which is causing, they say, a lot of the pressure of the selling pressure. But here you go, ProCoin News will expand the use of XRP for Treasury. All right. So iRemit is not new to Ripple's ODL solution, as the company has been in partnership with Ripple for 3 years already, where it used Ripple technology. This court case that everybody's talking about with XRP, it's just to test all the technology, get the backup, get it all set up, and then and then somehow it will not be remitted as a thought. Now, ODL will now be used to improve treasury management. This essentially means iRemit will be able to access funding requirements all the time with a global setup. So it's not just part A that treasuries will be handled. And there you have, if I can go back down to it, it says, one of the latest partnerships. Given, at the same time the announcement Ripple the lawsuit, the SEC has made a positive turn as news of a potential plea. Given both parties have filed motions for summary judgment, it seems quite possible the case will reach a conclusion as 2-year mark or even lower. So 2-year marks in February. Okay. So Ripple announces the expansion of the partnership, and they just continue to grow with partnerships. So I'll leave that one in there too. And then here, last but not least, here Coinbase, more Coinbase news. Coinbase is that large exchange you saw probably advertised over the Super Bowl everybody talked about, and all it was a QR code bouncing around the screen like an old Pong game. Coinbase beats out Binance. And and lands regulatory approval in Singapore. That's big news. It says Coinbase has received regulatory approval from Singapore Central Bank and Financial Watchdog to provide payment services in the country. The news comes after Coinbase first launched a tech hub in Southeast Asian country in November 2021. Excuse me. It says here, despite the recent approval, crypto firms operating in Singapore are likely to continue to be under a strict watch. So, alright. It says here, the executive said cryptocurrencies do not currently represent a viable form of money or investment asset due to their volatility. However, he noted digital assets have transformative potential, not unlike securitization 50 years ago. So once again, they're telling you, they're careful, but people, this is not going nowhere. They don't just do this with cryptocurrency. The thing is that we're going to go to a CBDC first, then we're going to go into a cryptocurrency. But they're going to run in parallel. They're going to be doing regulation with cryptocurrencies when they're doing stuff with the CBDC. The CBDC is just to get us all onto the electronic payments, electronic currency. That's what that is. That's the first step. And then when they go to cryptocurrencies after that. So it'll be businesses working with cryptocurrency companies. And just for example, look at Theta and Google. So that's just one example. Anyways, so let's look at one more at the stock market real quick to see where we're at with that. Let's see what our current market is. Here we have the Dow up 100. S&P's down, and Nasdaq's down now. So let's just see what happens there. Yesterday it went up 400 points, but it only closed it closed a positive 36 points after going all the way up. So there's a lot of volatility. They talk about volatility in the cryptos right now. There's a lot of volatility in the Dow. And so we'll just look at seeing what's happening. We've got CPI coming out this week and things like that. So anyways, we'll see you on the next one.